So, Caitlin Clark is getting defended by people from all walks of life. From all, like, we've heard Skip Bayless. We've heard the biggest sports people in the world be out here defending the number 22 from Iowa. But now we have got Dan Patrick.
Caitlin Clark's recognition as Times Person of the Year is well deserved. However, there's some drama unfolding in the WNBA, and it's not entirely positive. Dan Patrick recently highlighted this bizarre situation, offering a perspective that's both funny and accurate. Essentially, he's questioning whether the WNBA understands that success is something to be embraced. It's so ridiculous that it initially seems humorous, but then you realize how crucial this issue could be for the future of the sport.
It just drives me crazy that we keep, it's black, it's white, it's the new, it's the old, She brought eyeballs. That's all. You're flying charter jets now. Now let's see how you build on this.
She Johnson, the CEO of the Washington Mystics, isn't celebrating Caitlin Clark's achievement. Instead, she's expressing frustration, claiming that Clark doesn't deserve the honor and arguing that Time should have recognized the entire WNBA rather than focusing on just one player.
So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the League of the Year because of all the talent that we have?
However, Dan Patrick, the sports broadcasting legend, isn't buying into it. He responded strongly on his podcast, stating that the award is Person of the Year, not People of the Year. According to Patrick, the honor has always been about recognizing individual impact, not collective accomplishments.
But if you're Times Person of the Year, it's not the People of the Year, it was a Person of the Year.
Patrick is essentially pointing out that you can't have it both ways. Johnson's team is reaping the benefits of Clark's popularity, yet she's still upset about Clark being recognized. It's as if they're pushing back against their own success.
Can't we just acknowledge Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA? That's it. It's okay.
Let's approach this from a different angle.
At the same time, I think she would still be equally as upset if it was WNBA as the League of the Year, if they put Caitlin Clark front and center. I think she actually, even if they'd given WNBA League of the Year, she might have been even more upset if they said WNBA is the League of the Year and put Caitlin Clark front and center. I think she might be more upset about that.
Even if Time magazine featured the entire WNBA with Caitlin Clark at the center, Sheila Johnson would likely still complain. It's hard not to see this frustration as racially motivated. If the players were all black, there would probably be no issue. So why resist something that's clearly good for the league? Dan Patrick isn't backing down. He defends Clark, saying she's changed the WNBA, and that's a win for the league, even if some won't admit it. He's not downplaying past achievements, but Clark's impact should be recognized.
You want to throw in Angel Reese, you want to throw the memory of Cheryl Miller or Cynthia Cooper. It's a win. We got to... God. This is a unique moment. Caitlin Clark did for the WNBA what Wayne Gretzky did for the NHL when he went to the LA.
Did you catch what Dan Patrick is saying? Think about how Wayne Gretzky revolutionized hockey when he joined the LA Kings. That's the kind of impact Caitlin Clark is having on the WNBA. Patrick argues that Clark is doing the same for women's basketball. She's not just playing the game, she's changing it. And here's the key point. Recognizing Clark's impact doesn't diminish the achievements of the retired players who built the league. It's not a zero-sum game.
Take a victory lap. You don't have to go, oh my God, these people are mad, or this person's mad, or this group is mad. Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA. It's okay. It's okay to say that. You're not diminishing what the founding, fathers of the WNBA did. You're not. She's the Time Person of the Year. That's all. The league won. But every time we think there's a win, there's somebody who brings something else up.
Patrick points out that while the league is clearly benefiting from Clark's success, some people seem uncomfortable with how they're winning. It's as if they had a certain idea of success, and Clark doesn't quite fit that mold. Patrick isn't holding back, suggesting that some in the WNBA may not be thrilled about a white player being the face of their success.
Like, the league is winning, but the league doesn't want to win. The league only wants to win if they win in their way. They don't want to, like, they're not happy winning unless they win in the exact way that they've always wanted to win. That's the simple.
Think about that for a second. The league is getting more attention, more viewers, and more success overall, but instead of celebrating, some are complaining. It's like scoring the game-winning shot in the finals and then getting upset because it wasn't made by your favorite player. Does that make any sense?
The Cleveland Cavaliers 2016, let's just say there's a rift in the team. Half the team are, like, half the team are LeBron's boys, half of them are Kyrie's. And they only want to win if their guy is the one that hits the shot. So Kyrie hits the shot, and instead of celebrating winning a championship, LeBron's team are like, they come out in the press conference to be like, you know what? No, Kyrie should not have taken that shot. It's actually bad. It's actually bad. We don't care about winning. Kyrie took the shot instead of us. It's like, no, but you just won a championship.
It gets even better. Patrick points out that WNBA teams are now flying private, thanks to the revenue Clark's bringing in. Yet, despite benefiting from her success, they're downplaying her impact. Something doesn't add up, and his co-host dropped a bombshell. While there were great players before Clark, no one has moved the needle like she has. She's a phenomenon.
Let's go back to Paulie's article in GQ. There's a difference between great players and phenomenons. No one ever said Caitlin Clark wasn't, no one ever said there weren't ever great players before Caitlin Clark. There was never phenomenons, not in my lifetime, with women's basketball. And I went to UConn, so I've seen plenty of great players, but nobody's ever moved the needle in my lifetime like this.
Yes, that's all this is.
You know how sometimes a player comes along and just changes everything? That's Caitlin Clark. She's not just good, she's transforming the game. Dan Patrick is all in on this idea, saying the WNBA shouldn't just accept her impact. They should embrace it and build around it. He's urging them to take full advantage of her influence.
You keep chipping away at it, and it shouldn't be. You should reinforce what you've built. You're building around it. New franchises. That's because of her.
It's like Patrick's giving the WNBA a roadmap to success, and they're ignoring it. Think about what Gretzky did for hockey in the southern U.S. Hockey was mostly a northern sport until he joined LA, and suddenly it had a broader reach. He didn't just improve the sport, he expanded it. And remember that game with the Washington Mystics, owned by Clark's biggest critic?
She had the biggest crowd in the history of her franchise or any franchise at 21,000 last year for a home game.
Yeah,
against the...
That's history being made thanks to Clark. She's having a Gretzky-level impact, even on those criticizing her. But instead of celebrating, some in the WNBA seem to resist it. It's like they're afraid of their own success, worried Clark's popularity might overshadow others or change the league.
We talked about the WNBA. We talked about Caitlin Clark last year all the time.
Yeah.
It was Otani, LeBron, who at NFL, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And now what about? It's a lot of whataboutisms.
I know.
Like, can't we just be grateful that she's bringing so many eyeballs to the sport that normally they weren't watching this, no matter how great a player, Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, Breanna Stewart, all great players. But they weren't doing this.
No. Kelsey Plum scored 3,500 points in her career, but she wasn't the attraction.